Aloha, my friend, my friends. Tell you what, we're going to do something interesting here on Monday. Sorry I missed last week, for those of you who are here for that. What we're been talking about up through the whole course of this is being able to play from the eyes of C major. If you're following all the videos that I've been doing, I've been writing my own sort of series on how to take all different types of learning styles and boil it down into one cohesive, easy way to learn how to functionally play an instrument, no matter whether it's a piano, a harp, a stringed instrument with frets or without. So the constant of this is, and the questions that I get is, how do I remember all the chords and all the different strings and all the different symbols and everything? And what happens is this. When you learn the circle fifths and you see things through the eyes of fives, you sort of judge everything else around that. Or at least I do, from my experience. So these Monday moments are taking the concepts. It would take you to watch the Monday moment number one and get all the way to this Monday moment and understand what I'm talking about. So if I were to say something right now, how about in the key of G major, you could use the fifth, the dominant, as a dominant seventh itself, utilizing the minor seventh of that chord, and it functions just like a diminished would, besides one tone. However, it works the same, feeling when the use of the D as a not D major 7 but a D dominant 7 happens, it functions quite like the F sharp diminished. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. To be able to move your fingers that fast, there's a simple way to do that. Take any chord you have and start to move your fingers to a different fingering position, unto where you can play the same chords you were playing, but you're not using those fingers that you used originally to learn them. You'll be amazed at what happens when you can start moving your fingers and playing C like this, because when you play a C like that up here and then bar, it becomes another chord. Functionally, the cage system, C, A, G, E, and D inside their own major and minor movements. You can have a major or a minor for each one of these, and they're generally just a movement away. So what we try to examine through this course is how to take just learning how to put your fingers on the fretboard, what to do with the pick, how to hold that pick, how to keep rhythm, and then how to complete patterns. All music really is understanding a pattern of 12 minor seconds, 7 diatonic movements in a chord called a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. When we learn that through the eyes of C major, which has no sharps and no flats, we can then move on to other keys which do have sharps and flats. So the concept of why we have sharps and flats sets in. The methodology I have incorporates using a circle of fifths and our fingers, and then doing some just chord recognition. This whole platform, Monday Music Moments, is geared to help those who haven't found any other way to learn how to play, go from knowing how to play nothing, and being able to actually play chords and create your own music, create your own songs. So, having said that, today's is going to be over major chords, all of them diatonic triads. The reason why we did this is when we see chord progressions of G major to a C major, from a G major to a D major, the natural thing is to go, it feels like a pattern. Yeah, we got a 1-4-1-5. G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, C major. So in this course, we've talked about how the 1 is major, the 2 is minor. Look at it through the eyes of the cage system. If I've got a G major, and I move that same G major up here and play it, doesn't really function as it should. Why? One, we have the major third in there rather than the minor third. That stretch feels weird, so I might as well just change that. While I'm there, I could hold it out and play this type of chord. Not that fun because that also stretches. I could do just a straight bar chord, like a little baby kind of chord. Otherwise, I could move my fingers to the A minor I know, using any form that I can. If I bar all these and put my 2 fingers down where they're supposed to be, it's still going to be an A minor. You know what I mean? So the same thing happens when we're moving any structure. In the key of D major, if I moved my D major up to here, I'd have an E major. Well, we don't have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. If we did have all majors, that'd be awfully boring. So we have a major, we scoot that up and we turn it into a minor. which is our E minor, F sharp minor. We go back to a major fourth. And if you're lost thus far, check out a couple of these other Monday moments or Google any other music theory resource and see what a major scale is. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do are notes. They are tonally. But the chords that go behind those notes are major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. And then we're gonna have a special chord called a diminished, which we can play a couple different ways. However, what I was saying previously, aforementioned, was in any key, this one would have been C, C, D, E, F, G, A minor, B diminished. This B diminished, when played as the fifth of the chord, which would have been the G, as a dominant chord, kind of sounds like, you guessed it, the seventh, the diminished. So what we're examining here is just chords adding on another note and seeing the triads that make up those chords. Here it goes. If I've got, let's say C major, it's going to be a C major to a D minor, E minor, F major, G major, there's my fifth. I'm going to be having an A minor, and then in my B diminished, you can also do a G7, same kind of difference. And then it's going to go right back to your one. Cool? The next one we're going to be doing, we could go to a D flat major, or we could just bar the first fret and play a C, which is how I would do it anyways. I would play this way. When I go to my E flat minor, I keep my finger here, throw out what looks almost as if it's my D minor from before. Here's a D major, D minor. When I move my fingers to get the secondary fingering option, I can move that up here and have that same E minor, but my finger's already ready for that. Cool. When I do the same thing, I move that up one more whole step, and then I'm gonna be having my half step. When I take my half step from a F minor, by the way, I take my half step's going to go to a G flat major. My G flat major looks like this, and then guess what? Rather than playing that same thing right here for my A flat major, I'm just gonna bar that and then play what looks like my G major from right here. Yeah? Look at that. So what happens is I get the same as my G flat major, I get my A flat major, but it's actually based off of my cage system. Oh, I'm sorry. See, there we go. Or, you know, keep it simple, play that 5 there. Remember, you can play that as a 7th as you're diminished. When we go up here for the next one, after having gone through the process of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, we have a C sharp or a D flat. I'm just gonna call it in the flats. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat minor, you guessed it, B flat minor, and then we're gonna have what we would consider the lending tone, the leading tone. So going right back into here, what we're gonna want is that diminish, and that will resolve right back. The next couple chords I would love for you to do yourself, so pause the video if you can. I know it's live, but if we did a D right here, which would be the next C, C sharp, D, we can start seeing it as D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then D, or we could go the other way, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Knowing those two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, is kind of crucial for D, or else you'd have D minor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see D major, E minor, F sharp minor. See how I had 2 minors back to back? Awesome. Half step to our G for our perfect fourth. Our fifth is going to be A major. Now remember, this one can be played as an A7 if you want to a little bit later for our diminished. Next one is going to be our B minor. That's right. So as our minor 6, lay down our C sharp or our D flat, throw down our 2 double deuces, put down our pinky, and we get our diminished. Remember, you can play the outside. If you bar it, you might get that E up top, which is fine. There we go, and then it's going to resolve to your D. Now remember, you can also do A7, and it still kind of works. So you've got the concept now on how this works. That's all today was going to be about. We also will do a mechanism which talks about the minors, but if you want, there are shorts out there on this channel about that same concept that are individually based for those keys. So if we were talking about the key of F major, we'd have F major, we would go up a whole step to a minor, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but we make it a minor. We'd have that G minor would go up another whole step, and it would stay a minor, and it's an A minor. Now if you know this A minor, we would know it here, so let's not do that. Or we can. A minor. We're then gonna go up a half step. So A is gonna go to B flat. Boom, that is the only flat in the key of F major. And D minor, by the way. So when we go from the B flat major, it's gonna go to its C. You could also play B flat major all the way past B to another C. So if you don't already know, C can be played like this. So you get those legato notes, and then here, so you can play them staccato, meaning the notes keep going or they do not. You can go from that C, it will be your C7 and it will function as if it is your E diminished. However, when we go to our D minor, that is the minor 6. Quick recap because there's a lot of talking going on. F major, G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, and then we can play the E diminished. Now you can play an E diminished, you can play a C7, and it will sound the same way. And it will always resolve back to that 1. Okay, so check out those videos and then have a great Music Monday. Aloha.